All right, first case I'm calling this morning's docket is the People's State of Michigan versus Jesse Ryan Evans. This is file 21-0372ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
May it please the court, Your Honor, Jeff Lynch on behalf of Mr. Evans.
All right, today's time and date set for sentencing was some concern regarding any restitution that may be owed. It looks like there is not. Would you like to allocute on behalf of your client, sir?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client lives down in Lansing. He's 31 years of age. He's self-employed as a glass blower and a welder, Your Honor. He was up in the Mount Pleasant area for his uncle's funeral. He was spending the night at his parents' house. He was about a mile away from their house. There was a jog in the road. He missed the jog. He was in an accident. He called his dad. His dad came and picked him up. Appears to be a fine young man, Your Honor. Made a mistake, didn't call the police right away. I'd ask that the court impose fines and costs in this matter.
All right. May I ask your client if he has anything to say?
Certainly, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
You have, anything to say on your own behalf?
Yes, I would just like to apologize for my actions, Your Honor, and I should have made better choices given the circumstances.
Okay, thank you. Well, in every profession, there are assumptions made, and right, wrong, or indifferent. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not right. But when people drive away from a scene of a crash, the presumption from law enforcement, from judges, is that someone was drinking and driving and just didn't want to stick around. A couple reasons why you want to stay around. Number one, make sure no one's hurt. Number two, to make sure that if you've messed somebody's property up, that they get your insurance information so you can make them whole. Or if you don't have insurance, which you should, otherwise it's illegal, that you make restitution for them. But the third way is making sure that people don't think that you got away with a drinking and driving offense. So those are the three lessons that I hope you take away from this. That's one of the, when you get into the crash, you want to stick around because you don't want anybody presuming that you're doing something more than what you've done. I'm sorry to hear about the funeral that you had to go, but I'm also grateful that you were not injured in this circumstance. So it will be the sentence of the court that you will pay $75 crime victim rights fee, a $50 state assessment fee, $100 in fines, $100 in court costs. So that's $325. Are you able to pay that today, sir? Or do you need some time?
Yes, Your Honor, I can pay that today.
So you have a pen and paper. I'll give you the telephone number to call to pay today. There's two different numbers. I would have given you different if you were unable to. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, it's area code 989-832-6718. You pay over the phone, there's a slight processing fee, so it'd be just a touch over $325. But that is the sentence of the court. You have 21 days to appeal the sentence, 14 days to request a court-appointed attorney. Otherwise, we'll be adjourned on this case. Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Next case is the People's State of Michigan versus Crystal Seaback. This is file 17-1009FY. Counsel, please identify yourself for the record.
Good morning, Judge Carpenter, to you and your staff. My name is Paul Miscavige. I appear on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Seaback, who's seated to my right, Your Honor's left.
Okay, thank you. Today's time and date set for sentencing. It looks like the pre-sentence report has been completed. Have you had an opportunity to review that pre-sentence report?
We have, Your Honor. We had the opportunity to go over that report this morning. It is accurate. There's no additions, modifications, or deletions necessary to the report. The only thing is, in regards to the criminal history, it lists a number of offenses out of Mount Calm. I believe that should be actually Mount Clemens, Michigan.
Okay.
But other than that, the report is accurate.
All right, thank you. Allocution then on behalf of your client.
Yes, thank you, Judge. My client is 51 years of age. She's engaged. She's living in the city of Mount Clemens here in Macomb County with her fiance and a 21-year-old son. She does have gainful employment. She works at Addleton Eye & Laser. She's been there approximately 1 year. She does have a high school diploma, and she has some college. In regards to this offense occurred way back in 2016. As the report indicates, my client had some substance abuse issues at that time. Typical situation where she was overprescribed opiates by a doctor. That opiate dependency and addiction became a full-blown heroin addiction. To her credit, after this incident, she voluntarily enrolled herself in Sacred Heart Inpatient Rehabilitation Program. It's a 21-day residential program that she completed. After that, she did a halfway house for a couple of months, and then she continued with outpatient counseling, and she still sees a psychiatrist. In regards to the recommendation, they're recommending a pretty hefty fine. I know by statute, Your Honor, could go along with that fine. This possible penalty in this case is up to $2,000 or 3 times the value of the property. In regards to the restitution, we forwarded on the restitution $1,600 and some odd dollars to the court. I believe it was right around the day of the plea, and I believe that's being held by the court at this point in time to be dispersed to the alleged victim in regards to this case. My client's remorseful. Once she found out about this warrant, she contacted my office. We contacted the court, made arrangements to turn herself in to get this matter taken care of. The person that's sitting next to me is certainly not the person that she was 5 years ago. As stated, she was dealing with a heroin addiction. She was dealing with essentially homelessness. In regards to the offense, she was presented with a check by some individuals. I believe they were users as well. She was paid $500 for cashing the check. So she didn't even get the $1,600 and some odd dollars, but she's making whole in regards to the restitution and her role that she played in regards to this. I'm asking the court to take into consideration all that she's done, the person that she is today, as opposed to the person that she was back in 2016. She's been clean now for approximately 5 years. She's doing fantastic. I'd ask the court to consider alleviating the community service, or at least 100 hours of community service. And we're asking the court to consider reducing the fines and costs. Although she's working full time, she tells me that she's making between $24,000 and $30,000 per year. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Is there anything your client wishes to say on her own behalf?
I believe just briefly, Judge. Go ahead.
I made some mistakes and I'm trying to get my life back together. I apologize. And I just really am sorry for what happened. I was in a bad state of mind, in a bad place. And that, like he said, that's not the person that I am today.
All right. Thank you. Teresa, do we know whether or not a victim wishes to appear in this case?
Judge, I don't see anything here about a victim appearing. And there is one in the waiting room.
And there's no one in the courtroom. Let me just take a look, see if there's anyone in the lobby.
For whatever it's worth, this was a company or a corporation.
Yes, I just need to make sure, pursuant to the Crime Victim Rights Act, that I have scoured appropriately to make sure that someone does not wish to make a comment. It is a corporation, but it is a corporation in our community where a number of people were blessed or lucky enough to work after one of our major corporations did an expanse layoff, and this caused them some difficulty. So it's not a victimless crime. It is a crime that anytime you run a business, you're trying to provide income for people, just like the optometrist place that your client works. If someone were to take money from them, they may not be able to make payroll. So I do not see anyone out in the lobby or coming up to the courthouse. I understand the reasons for the recommendation. Instead of placing your client on probation, she doesn't live in the community anymore. Instead of requiring jail, we're trying to press upon her with fines of cost and community service. In this case, I do see that there's a fair amount of restitution that's owed. The recommendations are fair. However, based upon the fact that there is $1,600 which she did forward, I'm going to reduce the fines and costs a bit pursuant to request. I am going to leave the community service hours in because I think giving back to the community, I may give her longer time. I'll give her 180 days to complete it. Giving back to a community is going to be helpful for your client to make sure that all of the things that she had taken while she was using, she took from people. She took time from her family. She took probably people who are under significant addiction tend to steal to feed their habit because it's expensive and they can't think straight. I'm glad to see she's got a job. I'm glad to see she's turned things around. I want to offer her an opportunity to get back to a community. So it will be the sentence of this court that you shall pay restitution to the victim, Bank of America, and you do that through the courts, and it looks like you've already paid it, but I'm ordering $1,656.81. $75 crime victim rights fee, a $50 state assessment fee. It's going to be $2,000 in fines as opposed to the 3 times the value amount. $475 in court costs, 100 of hours community service to be done within the next 180 days and provide proof. You do have 21 days to appeal the sentence, 14 days for a court-appointed attorney to do that. Someone from my probation staff will be in touch with you regarding what the payment plan may be, if you need a payment plan, or how you're going to get the community service work done. Thank you very much. We'll be adjourned on this case.
Thank you, Judge. So she doesn't need to contact the court. Somebody from the court will contact her.
Someone from the court will contact her. Yes.
Okay. You have a great day and a great weekend.
Too.
Thank you.
So I think Mr. McCormick is already incarcerated.
Judge, I think he just popped into the waiting room. There's someone named Justin in there. I'm gonna let him in to see if that's him. I don't see you though. Sir, can you hear me with the name Justin?
Yeah,
Are you Justin McCormick?
yes.
Okay, we'll be with you in just a moment, okay?
All right.
Did you check to see if Mr. Donahue was with him, potentially?
It appeared that he was driving, but I can double check.
Ah, okay.
Hi, Judge, just so you do know, I did speak with Mr. Donahue a few times this morning, so he is aware of this.
Okay. He called me on Friday, so I do also know he is aware. Thank you, Barb.
Mr. McCormick, is Mr. Donahue with you?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Teresa, I think we probably will go off the record right now while we're waiting for Mr. Donahue to appear. Mr. McCormick, I know Mr. Donahue knows about the case, but he may have been in another court or someplace. So what we're going to do is just go off the record and wait for him to appear. Okay.
Okay.
You'll have to take off the broadcast as well.
I'm going to give Mr. Donahue a call right now.
Okay, thank you. Teresa, you want to take off the